The next step that we believe God would have us do here in El Salvador is a ministry called Broken, where we reach broken lives. We'd like to begin with infants, saving abandoned infants that will be essentially given away by their mothers. We'd like to start and affect those lives, because when you affect the path of a life early on, it has a big difference in the long run. We're here on land near Suchitoto, where we're hoping God will provide, where we could bring the kids away from all the influences of a broken society, a violent society, and to give them a first-class education. Eventually, we would like to reach other broken lives and rescue prostitutes, gang members, addicts, as God provides people and resources to do it. Perhaps God will provide this land, or perhaps some other piece that He hasn't shown us yet. We're asking you to pray for this and partner with us either by giving or going or bringing a team, whatever God would have you to do, to rescue broken people here in the country of El Salvador, so that they can in turn one day rescue other broken people. Any questions before we pray?
How much does it cost to come down here for a summer?
The ENvision, they have a flat rate for interns. It's $11.50 a month plus insurance, so it works out to like $12.10 or something a month.
I have a question. How much does our amigo behind you want to sell this land for?
He's just a caretaker. The owners for the whole thing want something insane like $600,000. So they are willing to part with a piece of it, and so maybe we could begin with a 30 or 40 acre plot rather than the whole 150 acre, roughly, I'm speaking roughly, 150 acre plot, and we could maybe buy it off a smaller chunk and start. Yeah.
So if I'm getting this information right, what you want to do with this land is be like an orphanage center / rehab program, rehab center almost, for different individuals, all depending on what kind of background they have.
You got it.
Tight.
One more question for me. Do you guys have any other locations that you have felt like have seen any other spots?
I've seen other spots, but we haven't. This is the one we're praying about now, and see what God leads us to. So I'm not married to it. As a matter of fact, I've had some people say, hey, have you thought about this and this and this disadvantage? And there are serious disadvantages and worth listening to. And so if God guides to a different place, I'm ears, you know. I'm not saying we got to go here. But that's why I say we can pray that God would either give us this or the money for this or another place. Yeah. He's creative.
But you prefer a place outside of the city?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a timeline?
I do have a timeline. I have no idea if it's going to take miracle after miracle for it to happen.
That's how it works.
About a year from now, I'd like to buy the Wired Center building. Less than a year, actually this year. We're in 12 already. This year, I'd like to buy the Wired building. And then Wired, instead of paying rent to some other guy, making him rich, Wired can pay rent to the Broken ministry. And then the Broken ministry wouldn't have a rent payment every month. And so we can go through the process of getting licensed by the Salvadoran government, begin to take in infants, begin to staff, and start the process in 2013. So if the money is, if we get $150,000 this year, then that would give us another year to get the building renovated and ready and get through the licensing and actually begin late 2013. And then from there, I mean, we have to begin with a small. I don't feel good about saying, hey, let's buy this big $100,000 chunk of land and then we're going to build a bunch of buildings, and then after all that, trust me, I'll find some orphans and put them in there. Right. So we're going to start doing the work and trust God to provide the location later.
What's the legal hurdles?
Every one you can imagine, by 10, multiply by 10. Just thinking bureaucracy on top of red tape. They don't even have a word for red tape in Spanish. It's just normal, is what red tape is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, remember when I said there were people telling me I was crazy to look at this? Yeah, so sewer is septic. That's not too tough. That's done all over the world. Water is free from the lake, so then you have to just put in your filtration and pumping system. And then now power is the tricky one. So power, then we can... What's that? The kids on the bikes, exactly what I was saying. Actually, I was just thinking of draining off some of the energy Sam doesn't need.
Oh, yeah. Sam on a bicycle.
Yeah.
You can put all three of us.
What about like solar? Like solar power?
Solar would work about 3 months of the year and would be very limited during the rainy season.
Oh, okay.
But it's definitely up for consideration. It would be substantial enough that it's worth considering. Yeah.
Sure.
It's a huge upfront investment,
right,
but so is a diesel generator.